What's up, people? It's Nation Girl 30 here, and this is my review of Raw 1001 for July 30th. Now, it's not July 30th anymore. It happens to be 12:30 in the morning because I was gonna actually do this at I was actually gonna do this probably at the crack of dawn tomorrow morning, but I just want to get this whole thing over with. I'm gonna go over the highlights of the night because this is a 3 hour show, and I'm not gonna spend 30 minutes talking about something you've already seen. So I'm gonna go into the things that I have that kind of spoke out to me. That was a highlight of the show for me. The biggest highlight of the night for me happens to be the triumphant return of Randall Keith Orton. Randall, Randall, well, that's what his name is, but either or, Randy Orton. Randy has definitely gotten a lot thicker. He is not as skinny as he used to be. He is definitely bulked up a little bit more. His hair has definitely changed. Regardless of that, the guy, I'm so happy to see him. The guy had probably the biggest pop I've ever heard in my life. Everybody missed him. The WWE Universe missed him. When I went on the SmackDown that was here, actually there was everybody that was looking for Randy Orton. So it was a breath of fresh air for a lot of folks to see Randy Orton come back on Raw. It's a shame that he wasn't on the Raw 1000 show in his hometown of St. Louis, but it was nice to actually see him tonight. And the fact that he actually fought against Heath Slater, that really does something for Heath Slater's career. That's one thing I'm gonna say about that. Even though it was a total annihilation, a huge squash match. But seriously, straight up, I was happy to see him because he's gonna actually bring a lot more interest and a lot more intrigue back to SmackDown. Because SmackDown is going to really need it. But it was really great seeing him again. I'm also going to have to say that the opener of the show was a huge highlight for me because everybody was waiting for CM Punk to make a response. He did not make any responses on Twitter. He did not make anything on Tout. Nobody has heard him on Facebook. The fact of the matter is, no one knew what he was thinking. So now you finally had a chance to hear what CM Punk had to say. He came out and said what he had to say, but I was completely confused on whether or not he was a true heel or going back to being an anti-hero. I actually wish that they took him back to being an anti-hero. The anti-hero that I know and love from Money in the Bank last year. But I really don't think that they even know where they're going to go with him. So that's the reason why it was so completely confusing. I think he was like literally a beta tester. If you honestly think about it, he was a walking beta tester, testing out his character to the crowd, like whether or not the WWE universe is going to buy him as a heel or buy him as an anti-hero. Honestly, I don't really know what direction they decided to go, but it seems to me that they're actually leaning more towards heel. I'm hoping that he becomes an anti-hero, but I'm doubting that. He's probably the last of the anti-heroes that have ever stepped foot on a WWE floor. But anyway, Big Show came out and pretty much had his spiel. I'm gonna be real. Not a lot of people are starting to care about the Big Show being a heel anymore, but it seems like he is starting to definitely warm up to being one, and he's getting better at being a heel. And I actually did like that segment. I enjoyed it a lot. John Cena was a man of less words tonight. He really didn't have much to say, and I'm kind of happy because he pretty much talks every night. But it was indeed a welcome change. The one thing I can definitely say about this is that I was quite entertained for the first hour of Raw. But when the second hour hit, good grief, it was so hard to get through. I guess because of the random filler, the randomness that happened with little Jimmy pretty much getting booted to the other side of the room. And the one thing I can definitely say is that close to the second half of Raw was focused a lot more on Daniel Bryan's plight with AJ and AJ's possible revenge on Daniel Bryan. It was still centered around those guys. I mean, yeah, it was entertaining to watch. That's one thing I'm gonna say. That's a part of the storyline that I wish kind of went away, but I have to say that it was entertaining. I can't lie about that. The fact that AJ was able to get her revenge on Daniel Bryan for calling her crazy and literally about to have her hauled away if they got married. So in a way, it was kind of a just desserts kind of thing. So it was kind of entertaining to watch Daniel Bryan slowly unraveling by the seams and literally being dragged off by the guys in white. It was entertaining, so I'm not going to deny that. But I am going to say is that it became the entire show started to become slow as molasses as the second hour hit. They understand. They decided to go 3 hours after Raw 1000. So now they're running out of ideas close towards the second hour. And when you think it's over, you're like, really? There's one more match? And usually, if there's not really another match, there's a match that's filled in by what happened on Raw 1000 after we've seen it. And I've seen Triple H flash on my screen about 1,000 times. I love Triple H, but it seems to me that it makes SummerSlam kind of look weak because so far that's the only match you got. And you only have 3 weeks left. So, I don't know. But the one thing I can say is that it was indeed entertaining for the first half. I really did enjoy myself during the first half. I was really hyped up for the fact that Randy made his return again. And the matches were pretty good. The matches are always good. It's expected that it was going to be good. It was expected that, well, honestly, it didn't necessarily make any sense for Sheamus to actually go over cleanly in his match because the fact that he's feuding with Alberto Del Rio, but since Alberto Del Rio pretty much refused to actually perform until SummerSlam, I don't know. It's like the entire show just started going to one big cluster of weird. And it just started to continue to get weirder from there and random filler. Lots of squash matches tonight. Seriously. Brodus Clay got squashed. Something you really didn't necessarily expect. We all knew that Heath Slater was going to get squashed. He's a squash man. But then the fact that Santino Marella, of all people, will actually wrestle Alberto Del Rio, again, I don't know. Either or, the thing about it is, it's really difficult for me to completely gripe about this because I was indeed entertained for part of the second half. It wasn't a total blowout of a show, but it wasn't a total blow of a show either. I mean, it was really entertaining in the beginning for the first hour, and then the second hour, yes, it did become a little bit slow as molasses. So honestly, I cannot, just to be fair, I'm gonna say that this was not a bad Raw. I was entertained for the first hour. It did get slow the second half, and it did get difficult to watch. And you tried your hardest not to get tired, but yeah, you ended up getting tired anyway. So either or, and also the fact that you have no idea which direction CM Punk is going to be going with his character was a little bit confusing. And I guess now it's kind of defined how Daniel Bryan is now going to be a heel. I guess after the fact that AJ kind of turned him down, he's pretty much a full-fledged heel. But we just really don't know much about CM Punk yet. He seems like he's going to be a heel, but then he acts like he's an anti-hero. The whole beginning of the show, he was more like an anti-hero, while as he was talking to John Cena, he was more like a heel. So I don't know. They're pretty much using him as a human beta tester to test out his character to the WWE universe to figure out whether or not that it's going to be great for him to be a full-time heel or great enough to actually be an anti-hero. And I do like the fact that the WWE is becoming a little bit more interactive with the WWE universe, especially with Twitter and everything, with social networking. So I think that's a huge positive. But it just doesn't really replace the fact that they put massive amounts of filler as well as a lot of squash matches in there tonight. And it seems like they were running out of ideas. So I am pretty much neutral. I'm pretty much neutral for my rating. I am pretty much in the middle here. I am not going to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm in the middle. I'm pretty much neutral. Because they had a really great first hour, but the second hour started to slow down. From the beginning of the second hour was still great. Towards the middle, it was really slow. And towards the end, it was just completely hard to stay awake. So I am neutral at this. And that is my verdict, and I'm sticking to it. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you want to send me a video response about how you feel about Raw, by all means do. I want to hear what the YWC has to say about this. But as you can see, it is late and I am going to bed. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. See you later.